First time adjustment?
Yeah.
First time adjustment ever in your life, right?
Ever in my life.
All right, well, trust me, I'll take care of you like you're my brother, all right? First thing I'm going to do is just motion real quick, okay?
Yeah.
I've seen the x-ray, so I know where I need to go. Now I just want to confirm how these joints are sliding, how they're gliding, how they're moving. At the end of the day, that's what the chiropractic adjustment does, and that's why it's in its own lane, doing its own thing, is it restores movement specifically into the spine, into those segments of the joint that are restricted and not moving well. And there we go. All right, so I'm going to start right here. Drop your head in my hand for me. You okay like that?
Yeah.
All right, so first thing is, Pedro, got a pinched nerve in your neck for how long?
Years.
For years? Okay. Did it start before you had a pinched nerve? Did it start as just stiffness in the neck?
Yeah.
And then just progressed?
Yeah.
So a lot of times the first symptom we'll get is just tightness and stiffness or loss of range of motion for those of you out there watching. So I was explaining to Pedro that stuff like that doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes we wake up from sleeping wrong and you think, oh, it's because you slept wrong. But when we look at the foundation, we peel off all this tissue and we see a spine that's straight. It's not designed to be straight. You okay like that?
Yeah. Oh. Damn. Jesus Christ.
I'll let you marinate on that for a second. It's a lot to take in for a first adjustment, huh?
That was awesome.
Yeah. Now what happens is he'll live the rest of his life like this. Hopefully not. But people can and people do, and you watch him probably have the same. But what happens is when the structure straightens, first thing it does is create compression and tension more on the bone, the joint, and the discs of the spine, as well as the soft tissue around the spine. So what happens is now with all that compression is the joints can't slide and glide the way they can or should do. And the way I think about it is always like a sliding door, like I was explaining to him earlier, is the sliding door can move smooth or it can move a little sticky. And that's kind of the way I think about it with the joints. And now when they move sticky, the body's first response to that is if it's not functioning at full capacity or full potential, the body says, okay, I'll lay inflammation down. It's kind of the body's built-in innate mechanism to heal and repair things. His first is to inflame them or contain them. Make sense? Drop your head in my hand. You okay with me there?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yes, sir. So inflammation over time affects things like circulation. It affects movement. Think of like if someone had a rolled ankle, they'd have swelling in their ankle. They don't have full mobility anymore in their ankle, right? So it limits mobility even further. So now it becomes this feedback loop. And then over time, as the body says, all right, so I'm going to take care of it next by creating something called scar tissue, which I like to look at it as or think about it as is joint glue. So I'm just walking up your spine now. Is that sensitive to touch?
Yeah. My muscles hurt.
Yeah. So when someone's had chronic pain or chronic stiffness, either one, for quite a bit of time, something like normal touch, feel that there?
Yeah.
That's normal touch. I'm not even really digging in. Now that becomes painful. Again, I always like to use teeth to teach, is think about a tooth with a cavity, right? If we put hot or cold on a tooth, it shouldn't give pain, but if there's dysfunction in the mouth or in the tooth specifically, it'll now create pain. Same concept in the back. Good. So you're just going to feel me walk up. I want to feel what that feels like on the border of the spine. Good. I'm using my thumb to palpate. That's just a personal thing on how I like to get in there specifically into these segments and test that joint spring. So I'm going to hold here at the hip. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to lift up at the hip. Bingo. Yes, sir. How are we doing so far? Good? There are going to be spots that I'm going to touch or adjust that are going to be sensitive. It's important for them to watching as well to know that not everything is that massage envy feel. If there's dysfunction in the spine and it's been there for a while, that initial impulse or that initial palpation or touch is sensitive. But that's something we just got to work through. We got to nurture it, you know? Bingo. And then we zoom into his low back, and you've been dealing with low back stiffness for how long?
Yep. Since high school too.
Since high school as well?
I tripped my tailbone in high school, and since then it's been...
How'd you do that?
I got blind hit. I got hit in the blind spot.
Gotcha. Because when we look down at the tailbone, this is good for people to understand how traumas, even if they're small or large, can carry on with us over time. It's not just, oh, I felt bad for a week and then life went on because I wasn't in pain. But the body has this amazing ability to adapt to pain. And while it is a good thing, it's misleading as well because we think things are okay. But the word for that is called habituation, where someone's in pain and they're in pain for a little while and then it goes away. And they go, it must not be a big deal because it went away. And then it comes again and then it goes away, and it just becomes something people cope with. But when we pull up an image like this is where a picture becomes 1,000 words, because you can see that this area of your low back, the area where you had trauma on it, has degeneration in it as well. And I use that word degeneration similar to like how a dentist would say you got a cavity in the mouth, right? It's a problem. It's been ongoing and in the making for a little while, and that's what's happened here. It's not a life sentence to low back pain. It does predispose you to always wanting to crack your back more often, being stiff more often. Again, the body's response to this, similar to what I was saying with the neck, is inflammation. So this becomes the weakest link in the chain, so to speak. Make sense? But either way, same thing, right? This isn't moving the way it should. I'm going to get in. I'm going to start to put movement in. When we put movement back into the spine, we restore that slide and glide feature. When we get the slide and glide feature, we reduce inflammation. We bring better flow in. Nervous system's happier. Make sense?
Oh yeah.
So here we go. Okay, so for this one, Pedro, I want you to hang your head all the way back, okay? Bring it all the way back, exactly. I want to bring this spine more into extension. I need a little more give here. There we go. We don't just pop feet to pop feet. We want to check and test where and what plane, if any, if it's even there, he's lost movement, and then put that movement back in. Same concept to the spine. Look to the right for me. Good. You okay with me here pulling on that heel like that? Good. There it is. Look to the left for me, Pedro. There you go. When we zoom in here, we see calcification down at the base of his neck. So when it's not taken care of and the spine loses movement, not only alignment, but segmentally, these joints in here can't move through full range of motion every day, that's the end result. And that's why he's feeling what he's feeling. Now, he also has an old injury from high school, right, in his shoulder. All right, so even though that's a direct trauma to his shoulder, the spine still shares compartments, shares real estate, and shares nerve and blood flow, has that relationship between his neck and his shoulder. So the point I'm making is when the neck starts to go bad, not only does it affect local areas like his neck, but it'll also spill over and work against him in terms of shoulder health, you know? I was telling Pedro, because he has an old high school football injury on his shoulder. Whenever we have injury on the body's response is to lay down, and I don't know if you remember me telling you, but joint glue, that fibrosis, that scar tissue. But either way, it limits mobility, it holds pain easy, and it just, again, creates these feedback loops in the body that we don't want. And then this, because if this doesn't move well, that could also shift back into his neck and create this other compensation. And again, it just becomes this situation you don't want to be in. So we're going to get in there, and we're going to start to put movement back in, break up or disperse some of that scar tissue just a little bit, free up some of that range of motion so we can get blood in and get things working better. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's not bad, right?
Holy crap.
Good. Good. Nice. There you go. Yep.
That's great.
Drop all the way back down. Good. You okay with me right
Yeah.
now? Come back up. Go back again. Okay, you okay with me there?
Yeah.
I'm going to use the healthier shoulder. That's like a wall down there.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Damn.
I'm going to put your neck at an angle for a reason. Good. First thing you're going to do is you're just going to feel me rock out like that. Are you okay with that? Okay. Good. Gotcha.
Whoa. That one was good. Oh, my back.
You were 30 what?
35.
You're 35, bro. You've never been adjusted before, never had spinal movement. You've been an athlete your whole life, working your butt off now, you know?
Yep.
So in this next chapter, that's just a lot of load over time built up on the body, you know?
Oh, man.
And here I am moving it for the first time. You know, it's like, you know, when you get your mouth worked on for the first time, like a deep, deep cleaning in there, you walk out of that office, you're like, damn,
fresh.
Right? That's what's going on here.
For real.
So we're just going to reinforce that normal healthy movement now through the cervical spine and your neck. Look down. Good. Look down one more time. We're going to get to the base of the skull right here. Good. You okay with me pressing in there? Might feel a little bit in your mouth. And now we're going to look up. Push in right there. Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
I show it big for you? You happy?
Yeah, that was awesome. Yes, sir.